All right, so folks, here's the riff. I'm calling this the Jeanine Pirro solution, all right? Bear with me. That's the subject of the riff. Now, at the risk of whiffing at a letter-high fastball or completely striking out, I want to write a brief note on this J. Powell subpoena business in the hope that calmer heads can prevail, the whole matter can go away, we can have an orderly transition to a new Fed chairman as soon as possible. Mr. Powell has done more to undermine Federal Reserve independence than anybody I can think of in recent times, as I've written so many times before. I don't want to repeat the bill of goods against Powell. But in order to hasten his departure, my longtime friend Jeanine Pirro, now the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, she can play a key role. There's nobody better than Jeanine. But as she herself has been quoted, the subpoena served up to J. Powell and the Federal Reserve last weekend may have prematurely initiated a legal process that she said to Fox Digital, and I'm going to quote her directly, is not a threat. Is not a threat. Now, let me continue. Quote, the word indictment, this is Ms. Pirro, the word indictment has come out of Mr. Powell's mouth. No one else. None of this would have happened if they had just responded to our outreach, end quote. Okay, very fair. 2 emails were apparently sent to the Fed over the winter holidays for information regarding their Taj Mahal overruns, but without any urgency, without any mention of a criminal investigation. This was before the Fed got the subpoena. So, at that point, with allegedly no Fed response, one of the smartest people I know and one of my favorite prosecutors, Jeanine Pirro, may have pulled the trigger just a little too fast. And then when all hell broke out, she said, and I'm going to quote, this office makes decisions based on the merits. Nothing more, nothing less. We agree with the chairman of the Federal Reserve that no one is above the law, and that is why we expect his full cooperation, period, end quote. Okay, well, I agree with my favorite prosecutor that decisions must be based on the merits. But a cost overrun in Washington, D.C. just doesn't seem particularly unmeritorious. It's not a criminal action, or if it is a criminal action, then basically more than 90% of the people in and around the district might be in jail. Cost overruns, well, they're the coin of the realm. Everybody knows it. I don't want to justify it. I'm just being practical. What's more, although I cannot really confirm this completely, it is alleged that Ms. Pirro's office did not inform Maine Justice Department before taking this controversial action. And if that's the case, it's a no-no. But look, here's the thing. So far as we know, no grand jury has yet been impaneled. No charges have been filed against Mr. Powell or the Federal Reserve. And the president himself, Mr. Trump, well, he's come up with plausible deniability when he said, I guess Sunday evening, I don't know anything about it. And he denied involvement in DOJ's Fed subpoena. So I'm just saying the stage could be set for a speedy solution. Perhaps Mr. Powell or a staffer or two will have a session with Ms. Pirro and then just call it quits. There's really no there. We can get on with the business of appointing a good new Fed chair who will pilot Mr. Trump's booming economy. Anyway, that's the riff.